up somehow.
Yes, my Straight Talk family, I'm hearing you. Are you hearing me? I must, again, apologize for what is definitely a very, very tardy start tonight. This was due to a technical difficulty on my part. Yes, blame nobody but me. Acted tonight as if I'm in the information technology underclass. That's why I'm so late, and I do apologize. And I say good night to the entire world, or greetings to the entire world, because I can say good night, I can say good morning, I can say good afternoon, because one of such greetings will be applicable to the region in which you now find yourselves, and to St. Kitts and Nevis and the entire Caribbean. I say good night to all. I know others of you are in the diaspora all around the globe. Some of you are in Africa. There's some of you in Asia. There are some of you in Europe. There are a whole lot of you all over North America. And everybody is pondering, where is Ian Patches Liebert? I am here, and again, forgive me. Forgive me, my people. But let me say good night to our first-timers. We do have first-timers each time. And for those first-timers, just to inform you that it at Straight Talk is heard every Monday and Thursday from 8 in the night, 8 to 10 p.m., I should say. And if you're joining me for the first time, I say welcome and trust and hope it would not be your last time. And again, we thank all those who continue to share the link. Because when you do, we do get first timers. And for the first timers, Straight Talk is a public service program that facilitates and promotes free, underline free, expression on all issues of national interest, be they legal, be they environmental, be they technological, social, economic, and or political issues. On Straight Talk, you do have a forum, like I said, to express yourselves freely. On this program, we try to raise the level of national, regional, and international discourse. We try to raise the level of national, regional, and international consciousness by alerting our people to their rights, to their responsibilities, and certainly to their obligations. My name is Ian Patches Liebert, and I give Almighty God thanks for blessing me with yet another opportunity to join you in conversation on yet another occasion. And my Straight Talk family, again, excuse my tardiness, and here's what. Let me, first of all, before I forget, hail my Straight Talk Junior Brigade. That is an imperative you will learn as Straight Talk family. So let me hail Young Dwayne, Tristan, Jasmine, Shamar, Kevin, Rue, Jamal, Travis, Travon, Neema, my grandson, Saraya, Elizabeth, and that special lady as well in St. Louis. And just to inform you as well that Straight Talk is a participative program. And by that I mean we at some stage will include your calls and your emails. And if you're so minded calling, the numbers are on your screens. If you are, or you like this cloak of anonymity, We give you access via our email platform. That address as well is on your screens. We'll move to our observation in review when we highlight some current issues, and then we move into our thesis for tonight, which I have titled Honesty Must Be Our True Companion. And as a public service program, or public service announcement, I should say, we want to inform you about the upcoming protest march in Nevis, my straight dog family. That's across the Narrows. The Nevis Civil Society will put their boots on the road in a peaceful march this coming Friday. That is tomorrow, the 14th. The idea is to keep the pressure up to stop the Destiny Project before it is too late. So protect the future of St. Kitts and Nevis and never, ever allow them to modernize colonization. Just reject it. As we say, Nevis is not for sale. And we have to protect our children and our children's children's future. Our land, our people, our future. And the march begins at 4 p.m. at the Alexander Hamilton Museum on Main Street, Charlestown. Walk south along Main Street at Reliable Motors. You turn around and walk back north on the Main Street and gather at the Dr. Walwyn Plaza for a public meeting, and the event would end at 6 p.m. So all are invited to go out and join the Nevis Civil Society in a peaceful march tomorrow. And our first observation, my Straight Talk family, I listened to Andre Huey of TV5 or TV5 or TV40, whatever that station is. And Andre is someone I have respected since we met over 10 or more years ago. In recent time, I must admit, Andre, I've been disappointed. You have disappointed me. Because firstly, when as president of the Media Association of St. Kitts, he tried to make the point in support of Terence Michael Drew during one of his roundtable sessions, and making the point that media houses that are not members of this association, your association, the Media Association, are not legitimate news organizations. I was taken aback. And according to Terence Michael Drew, he used that comment and launched an attack on some media platforms. In fact, he referred to them as fake media. Now, a few days ago, secondly, you continued to patronize the Terence Michael Drew administration by purporting, amongst others, that the Fort Thomas Hotel, symbol of love, monument and museum, for example, is part of the major capital projects being undertaken by the Terence Michael July administration. And you said this.
Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew recently led members of the media on a tour of 10 major capital projects being undertaken by the government of St. Kitts and Nevis. The initiative was aimed at providing journalists with first-hand look at the progress of several developments across the country. The projects visited included the Symbol of Love Monument and Museum at the former Fort Thomas Hotel site, at the Symbol of Love Monument and Museum, currently under construction on the site of the former Fort Thomas Hotel. Prime Minister Drew expressed satisfaction with the pace of work and described the development as an important addition to the nation's heritage and tourism product.
One, it is a museum. It would have local, regional, and international appeal. we will make sure that our history is preserved here, because that is principally what it is. As you entered, you see a space there. Our first national hero will be there. Our first national hero being His Excellency Robert Llewellyn Bratcher.
And yes, my Straight Dog family, I took umbrage with what was or what transpired, because I'm aware, and we all know, that in political and budget discussions, when the government says it has capital projects, it is essentially talking about development spending or money being invested in infrastructure and other long-term public assets. And importantly, the government or any government capital project is required to have a defined scope, an estimated cost, funding sources or source of funding, implementation timelines, and procurement processes, or the procurement process. And these are what Andre should have focused on, because the symbol of love project is being presented as a conventional government-funded capital project. But it's not so, because the 2026 budget describes the symbol of love monument as part of the private investment pipeline. Those are the words in the budget address. And while the government's official announcement described it as a lease arrangement with ABL, who is actually paying for the project? Who owns the land? And what's the government financial obligations under the lease? It is a secret being held by Terrence Michael Drew and Andre Hewitt. You should have helped the country, helped us all to uncover that secret. Again, what is the cost? Who is funding the project? These are issues you must bring to the fore. Just like each time you guys go to this round table or press conferences, you're afraid to ask the questions. And we're no wiser because of the fourth estate. No wiser. Our second observation, quickly I'll move to it. It was a scene reported from Harpetry in constituency number 4, and this, I can tell you, spoke volumes, or matter of fact, still speaks volumes. My Straight Dog family, when a representative and his wife arrive bearing food packages for constituents, only to have these angry constituents open those packages and display their contents on the very steps, the symbolism is really difficult to miss. Food hampers may provide temporary relief, but they cannot substitute for jobs, affordable food, decent wages, reliable public services, and policies that allow families to stand on their own feet. When people feel that they are being offered a package instead of a solution to the problems confronting them, frustration can quickly turn into anger. And for Samuel Duggins, this was more than an embarrassing moment, my Straight Dog family.
Good afternoon to everyone. Good afternoon to everyone. In the Harpetry area, and Mr. Winston Rogers just approached me, showing me a bag of stuff that, well, the bag marker on Samuel Duggins. That was the bag marker. And let me go up close so I could see it. Samuel Duggins brought to his home with 1 pack of crackers, 1 tin of milk, 1 pack of lentils, 1 tuna fish, 1 bathing soap, 1 toilet paper, 1 pound of rice and 1 pack of oats and a small key holder, Mark and Samuel Duggins. Mark and Samuel Duggins. The man is saying that his family got at least 6 people in the house, and this is what they bring to come give here in the family. Well, he got them spread out on the step, you know. He got them on the step, so he want them come take them up. So I hope they come and take them up. I only video in what being showed to me. Good afternoon, thanks.
Well, that video went viral, and I'm sure that Samuel would have seen it, and hopefully he would have gone as Mr. Rogers requested. He come take back he food. But it was a political message from constituents who appear to be saying, we don't want handouts, Samuel. We want representation that changes our circumstances, because things are bad. The cost of living just gets higher and higher. I was in the supermarket just a few days ago, and the 2 pieces of mackerel I used to buy for $21, that was expensive then, it's gone to $55. I overlooked taking a photo of it so I can put it on your screens. But the contents of those packages delivered by Samuel Duggins and his wife may have been food, but the message displayed on the steps was unmistakable. People want dignity, people want opportunity, and people want answers, not political consolation. And those are my observations for tonight. I started a bit late, so I'll move right into my thesis, which I've titled, as mentioned earlier, Honesty Must Be Our True Companion. And my fellow citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis, brothers and sisters, comrades at home and across the diaspora, I stand before you today, tonight, to tear down the wall of lies, deception, and rank corruption that is suffocating our beautiful Twin Island Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. For far too long, we have been fed a steady diet of smooth-talking treason, empty political theater, and backroom betrayals by an administration that treats our national treasury like their personal piggy bank. Tonight, the games must end. Tonight, we draw a line in the sand with an unyielding, non-negotiable vow. Honesty must be our true companion. Let me tell you exactly what will happen the moment I walk out here. The corrupt elites sitting in the halls, my straight dog family, the halls of power that is, are going to panic. Everybody will attack me for being honest, and they will unleash the full weight of their dishonest machinery against me. But you know my back is strong. They will launch desperate smear campaigns, especially in this silly season. They will deploy their paid internet trolls, as they've already started to do. And they will weaponize their media hitmen to attack my character. Why? Because a leader armed with the unvarnished truth is the single greatest threat to their lucrative, lawless empire. Let them attack. Let them throw every dirty stone they have. Because I know, and you know, my Street Dog family, that this country stands to benefit infinitely more from an honest government than from a corrupt, rotten, and profoundly dishonest one like the Terence Michael Drew administration. And this honest administration strips away our future. And that's what's happening. They strip away our future to fund their lavish style, traveling first class almost every week, and leaving the citizens back home here to suffer. An honest government puts the people first, builds real economic infrastructure, and restores national dignity. But they trade in the shadows while we stand in the light. And I must point to the wreckage of dishonesty and enclave governance. Look at the sheer wreckage this current administration has inflicted upon our global reputation. While our OECS neighbors Antigua, Dominica, and Grenada are getting slapped with strict U.S. visa ban conditions, our tone-deaf leaders are playing a reckless game of financial roulette with our future. They look you in the eye and pretend everything is fine, while behind your backs they are radically underselling our national assets to shady entities. Look at the toxic trail of the Caribbean Galaxy scandal, where thousands of citizenship certificates were secretly signed away like worthless coupons by Terence Michael Drew, the minister responsible for citizenship. And now, right before our very eyes, they are attempting to ram through the pending, utterly disastrous approval of the Destiny Project in Nevis, and under the deceptive cover of the Special Sustainability Zones Act. That's one reason you must go out tomorrow at 4 o'clock and march down Charlestown. Let's call this what it actually is: a treacherous surrender of our local sovereignty. This administration, in cahoots with the NIA, is actively trying to carve out a semi-autonomous enclave on Nevis, on Nevis's southern coast to be exact. Sign away our land, our regulatory laws to foreign interests. I'm happy that there's a Nevis civil society with people that will keep the pressure on. So keep marching, I implore you. By pushing this deal, they are creating a dangerous constitutional crisis and setting up independent dispute mechanisms that completely bypass our local courts. This isn't economic development, not at all. This is a flagrant corporate capture of our homeland, engineered by a leadership whose true companion is raw greed. We'll come to the stench of absolute conflict of interest. But the betrayal becomes even more sickening when you look at who is pocketing the cash. This isn't just a bad policy. It is a profound systemic conflict of interest that should discuss every right-thinking citizen. While the Premier of Nevis sits in his cabinet chair aggressively pushing to legalize this massive corporate enclave, his own wife, Sharon Mama Brantley, we must never forget, is operating the primary real estate agency for the project, quietly helping a foreign crypto millionaire buy up over 200 parcels of land, local Nevisian land. Think about the sheer audacity of it. Millions of dollars in sales commissions are flowing directly into the Premier's household from this family enterprise. And what do they say when they are caught? Because they have been caught. They look at you with total contempt and claim that there is no conflict. They expect us to believe that the Premier's public office has absolutely nothing to do with his wife's massive private real estate windfall. They want us to believe it's just a coincidence that the foreign millionaire or billionaire selected the Premier's front parlor to broker a deal that alters our borders forever. But my fellow citizens, my brothers and sisters, my straight dog family, comrades, what you heard is the textbook definition of politically exposed persons, or PEP, abusing the public trust for private wealth. While ordinary Nevisians to be exact, citizens yes, but Nevisians to be exact, are left to wonder if they will even be allowed to set foot on the southern coast of their own island. The political elite are securing generational wealth of your heritage. This is the dishonest, shady dealing that thrives under this Mark Brantley administration, in cahoots or in concurrence with Terence Michael Drew. The country takes 100% of the risks, while one political family reaps 100% of the reward. It is corrupt. It is wrong, and it must be stopped. March tomorrow to stop it. If you think the corruption stops in Nevis, look over here at St. Kitts to the historic grounds of the Fort Thomas Hotel. This administration signed a backroom lease agreement with a foreign developer, ABL Inc., to build what they call the Symbol of Love Museum. That's what they call it, my straight dog family. Fancy museum, symbol of love. They bypassed the St. Christopher National Trust, shut out public consultation, and insulted our identity by planning a replica Taj Mahal on top of a sacred Kittitian heritage site. It is such a tone-deaf, un-Caribbean design that continues to spark nationwide outrage and has forced them into emergency damage control by making provisions to put something for Bradshaw, according to Terence Michael Drew. But we're not going to be fooled by that. We're not going to be fooled by that, my straight dog family. Not at all.
Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew recently led members of the media on a tour of 10 major capital projects being undertaken by the government of St. Kitts and Nevis. The initiative was aimed at providing journalists with first-hand look at the progress of several developments across the country. The projects visited included the Symbol of Love Monument and Museum at the former Fort Thomas Hotel site. At the Symbol of Love Monument and Museum, currently under construction on the site of the former Fort Thomas Hotel, Prime Minister Drew expressed satisfaction with the pace of work and described the development as an important addition to the nation's heritage and tourism product.
One, it is a museum. It will have local, regional, and international appeal. We will make sure that our history is preserved here because that is principally what it is. As you entered, you see a space there. Our first national hero will be there. Our first national hero being His Excellency Robert Llewellyn Bradshaw.
Imagine, he said, under pressure, puts a space there, our first national hero. But what about the $7 million you already spent on the RLB Museum?
We're hoping, really pushing to see if we can complete it by September 16th. I know that's a lofty goal, but we are really pushing. If not, definitely we want to complete it by this year. We expect it to cost in the region of maybe about $4 million because we want to build it out, make it a tourist attraction, create areas so that people can appreciate exactly how our first national hero would have lived, and to immortalize his life once and for all, and to convert his property into a place where tourists would visit, children would visit, all of us would be able to visit as we remember him for the tremendous work that he would have done. So his construction is going on, and to about maybe $4 million grand total at the end of the day.
It reached to $8 million, we are told, and abandoned. But the real crime, my Straight Talk family, is not just the architecture at the Fort Thomas Hotel. It is the outrageous exploitation of our people. Now, when ABL Inc. started construction, local, highly skilled kitchen tradesmen stepped onto that site expecting fair wages. Instead, listen to this, instead, they were insulted with sub-minimum wages, getting paid just over $300 a week for back-breaking labor. And when our local workers stood up for their dignity, what did this developer do? They systematically downsized the local kitchen crew, threw them off the site, and imported waves of foreign workers to take their places. These foreign workers, my Straight Talk family, live in some horrible conditions right down there on the site. And we showed you this before. I'm almost certain. This is how they live, in horrible conditions. Look at them. Look at the makeshift bathroom. They seem to wash their clothes and shower at the same time. Look at where they hang their clothes, my Straight Talk family. This is what's happening on the site. These foreign Indian workers live on the site in real horrible condition. Look for yourselves at this makeshift bath and toilet, my Straight Talk family, here in St. Kitts at the Fort Thomas Hotel. You can see for yourselves. Today, on this historic soil where our ancestors stood, our own people are marginalized, underpaid, and treated with contempt by foreign managers brought in by this administration's favorite developers. Meanwhile, this same corporate outfit, ABL Inc., is using global firms like CS Global Partners to market their multi-million-dollar regional monopolies like the Dominica cable car. It is a textbook corporate playbook. They take our land, they underpay our workers, they disrespect our culture, and they siphon off the wealth of our country while the Drew administration stands by and applauds and perhaps get their kickbacks. Yes. But finally, my Straight Talk family, we must be guarding our vital American alliance. I want to repeat that. We must be guarding our vital American alliance. A corrupt and compromised government will be blind to the geopolitical reality. But an honest government will face the facts squarely. Our economic survival here in St. Kitts and Nevis, our livelihoods, and our stability depend entirely on our relationship with our primary democratic ally in the Western Hemisphere, to wit, the United States. And let's just speak the raw truth, my Straight Talk family, because this current Terrence Michael Drew administration desperately wants to suppress this relationship. And we know that Terrence Michael Drew is a Muslim communist. But let's face the facts. Undisputable facts. The American pipeline, I call it. Over 80% of our trade and this comes from the local customs figures that show imports from the US exceeded in 2025 EC $754 million. Now, this only affirms that the United States remains the Federation's primary partner for our food supply, consumer manufacturers, and industrial equipment. U.S. travelers generate more than half of the total tourism spending in St. Kitts and Nevis, making the United States the absolute lifeline of the St. Kitts and Nevis hospitality economy. The total quarterly visitor expenditure climbed to over 62.4 million to be exact, in 2026, with U.S. arrivals accounting for the vast majority of that revenue and the overwhelming majority of our tourism revenue coming directly from the U.S. So how can we disrespect the United States? Look at our diaspora connection. More than half of the St. Kitts and Nevis population lives, works, and supports the United States, or supports St. Kitts and Nevis, I should say, through remittances that are sent from the United States. Meanwhile, the Terence Michael Drew administration plays around with experimental crypto enclaves and shady foreign deals that alienate our primary security and intelligence partner. Yes, the United States. These people in cabinet, they don't care that when our financial systems lose international trust, it is the ordinary, hard-working citizen who loses their visa, their bank account connectivity, and their ability to travel. They risk your survival to protect their secret partners, my straight talk family. And in conclusion, look around you right now. Look at the state of our beautiful Twin Island Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. We stand at a critical crossroads where our most valuable national asset, our reputation, our sovereignty, and our CBI is being systematically dismantled by greed. We've heard what's happening, or the threats from Europe or the European Union. We heard it. We all must have heard it by now, my straight talk family. I am sure you did. I'll be surprised if you did not. Tonight, I therefore stand before you to declare that a nation cannot survive when its leaders practice nepotism in the dark and preach virtue in the light. If we are to rescue our country from the brink of total collapse, then honesty must be our true companion. For years, we listened to the current Labour administration rail against the system. When they were in opposition, they screamed from the rooftops about the controversial prison project. Terence Michael Drew said that it was criminal. The Attorney General, Garth Lucifer Wilkin, he got into government. He looked the public in the eye and boldly branded the project as a good scam.
And system that the Attorney General, Garth Wilkins, spoke about in his exchange communication with Dwyer Stefan.
That's what he did. Look at his WhatsApp messages. Look to your right in the penultimate paragraph. That's what he said. Still a good scam. That is coming from the Attorney General. That's what he called it. A good scam, my straight dog family. Then how good is this scam? How was it? Ask yourselves the question, how good is the scam Attorney General Garth Lucifer Wilkin? Tell us now, how good is the scam? Is it still a scam? We ask the question. We ask the question again, one more time. Attorney General, how good is the scam? Is it still good? That's the question we ask. The man who now sits as our Prime Minister, Terence Michael July, stood before you and declared that the entire prison deal was outright criminal. He went into the parliament and he said that, my Stray Dog family, that the entire project was criminalized.
Speaker, we criminalize in those regulations underselling. For the first time, it became a crime that, of course, carries penalties, Madam Speaker. That is how serious we were about making sure that the CBI would be set as the whole of government on the principles of good governance. Madam Speaker, underselling occurs when a CBI stakeholder seeks to discount the statutory minimum investment sum required to be made by an applicant seeking to apply for citizenship by investment. By December 2022, we had been informed that underselling practices became normal in the overall CBI industry, Madam Speaker. I'm not speaking of St. Kitts and Nevis, I'm talking about this as an industry, all over. We, however, would not tolerate such practices and therefore made it specifically a criminal offense for the first time in 40 years, or in the 40-year history of our CBI program, Madam Speaker.
But he's in the halls of power, my Stray Dog family. And he can talk. But whiskey costs money, talk is cheap. But his mask obviously fell off because the criminal enterprise suddenly became a comfortable bedfellow in a display of staggering daylight hypocrisy. Terence Michael Drew found himself fully in bed with the very same developer, Caribbean Galaxy. He didn't just look the other way, he elevated them. Lest we forget, my Stray Dog family, in September 2022, he took this developer as an official part of his delegation to the United Nations high-level meeting, parading them on the global stage. Yes, he did, my Stray Dog family.
You can see on that picture at the United Nations, you have the Prime Minister of St. Kitts here. You have the Foreign Minister.
And the former Prime Minister.
Yeah, former Prime Minister. And you have the Chinese operator behind, and you have Dev Bass behind, which means the two people that are the main beneficiary of this whole opaque business are right behind them at the UN. What a publicity. What a power for them.
That's an excerpt from the Western Hemisphere, and you will hear more. But since then, it was confirmed that Terence Michael Drew signed over 20,000 certificates of registration for this exact project, which he criminalized. The very project they call the scam under the sun is the very project they are feeding from in the shade. Terence Michael Drew lied, and he was found out quite easily.
And Terence Drew, I have supported you. I have applauded the reform that you've done. But now that I know that you have processed the vast majority of the Galaxy application and that you have lied to me, now you got some explaining to do. Not only with me, and you know what I'm talking about.
And yes, my Straight Talk family, when Drew was telling lies, he even lied on the former prime minister and was found out.
So when Timothy Harris, and God knows I have my issue with Timothy Harris, but when Timothy Harris says Drew processed most of those applications, he's not lying. He's telling the truth. Absolutely.
And my Straight Talk family, this rot exists on both sides of the Narrows. It does not stop on the shores of St. Kitts. Look across the Narrows to Nevis. I mentioned earlier so. Look at the blatant, shameless conflicts of interest playing out in real time. We see the Destiny Project where a foreign developer, Olivier Janssen, is attempting to swallow up over 2,600 acres of land, roughly 1/10 of the entire island of Nevis. And who is the sole exclusive real estate agent brokering this massive land grab? We must be reminded of this every time. None other than the wife of the Premier of Nevis, Mark Anthony Graham Brantley. Mark Anthony Graham Brantley and his wife Sharon Mama Brantley are selling out our ancestral lands, and the commissions are staying right inside the family kitchen cabinet, right inside the cabinet of their family.
We've been hearing a lot about 17 degrees north. What is the connection between 17 degrees north and the Nevis Island administration? Is it true that representative of 17 degrees north has been approaching landowners and residents in the area of Long Point to Butlers, trying to negotiate the sale of lands there? If yes, what is the reason?
17 degrees north. I have to smile because 17 degrees north is my wife's business. It's owned by Sharon M. Brantley. It is my wife's business, and she's entitled to have a business just as you are, and just as anybody else in this island is entitled to have a business. As I understand it, 17 degrees north is into real estate, buying and selling of real estate. I'm aware that there are investors who are looking at significant investments on the island. I'm aware that various investors are looking at investing on the island of Nevis. 17 degrees north has zero connection to the government. 17 degrees north is not involved with any government land. If I offer myself for elective office, I must say to my wife, who's had a business prior to me getting involved in politics, I'm sorry, darling, but you have to shut it down.
But my Straight Talk family, I listened to a caller to Undermark, well-known former teacher. And when he asked Mark about the issue of conflict of interest situation, Mark Brantley had the gall to say it does not matter.
One of the things that was said was that you seem to not understand the term conflict of interest. And one caller observed that it's not just the actual conflict of interest, but even the appearance of conflict of interest that politicians should run from. In other jurisdictions, you know, that's what they do. That's what a responsible politician would do.
Resign.
Right? Some of them would resign even at the appearance, at the whiff of a conflict of interest. And this was in relation to the fact that your wife was apparently involved in the Destiny project, almost as sole realtor or something like that. And you seem to be dismissive of it.
Okay, caller, I wish you had called in earlier because I would really have liked to engage with you, but we are 3 minutes from the end of the show. If you have another 2 minutes, actually, if you have another point to raise, could you do so quickly so we can wrap the show?
No. I mentioned that because you basically said that you're using the Public Accounts Committee as a millstone around your neck, and it was unfair. And I was just bringing up as something else to show that there are other things that you can be called out on.
Okay. All right, caller. Okay. Well, you know, the good thing for me, thank God, is that some people calling me out doesn't move the needle. And so it really doesn't matter because it
really doesn't matter. His wife would make over $100 million, we are told, as the sole real estate agent on this Destiny project. And it doesn't matter. While poor people in Nevis are suffering, can't buy milk, can't pay electricity bill, can't pay water bill. It doesn't matter if his wife, Sharon Mama Brantley, makes millions. The arrogance of this man.
So, Premier, you said I don't know if it was a press conference or somewhere, you said that your wife was the person who was looking lands and either buying or selling to Destiny. Can you tell us if she's in that same position as of today? Can you tell us if there has been any has you picked up any sales on any lands over in the south recently? And has anybody pulled back each other? Can you tell us that? Thanks.
Yeah, the only aspect of that caller that I could answer is to say that my wife was hired by Destiny some time ago to contact owners of lands in the area to determine whether or not they'll be minded to sell their lands. Some have agreed to sell, some have said they will not sell, some have negotiated, and I believe that that process is still ongoing. But I can confirm that my wife is working on that project as a realtor. She was approached by them and she is assisting them in reaching out to potential sellers, to owners of lands, and trying to determine whether or not they're minded to sell. I think that was the position from day one, and that continues to be the position.
And my Trade Dog family, he obviously loves his wife. You can hear him, my wife. You know, my wife. Because she's making millions. She gives her a special tone, you will observe. But to make matters worse, reports have revealed that a staggering 10,000 shares or investment units are being requested by Olivier Johnson on his Destiny project and may well be approved. They made noise about 5,500 shares on the prison project. And they're doubling that in Nevis, my Trade Dog family, to 10,000 shares or investment units, and may very well be approved. That's the whole up, my Trade Dog family.
And how the CBI gonna work when it comes to buying a condo or a home? If by buying that, if you're gonna have shares to sell, do that come with shares? How that works?
You mean CBI or because I'm not?
Yes. So where the funding gonna come? Yes. How does that work? Usually CBI mean you get amount of shares and then you sell the passport. The money will help to develop the project and stuff like that. So how does that work for your project?
Well, technically, it is when you buy a unit, right? The moment you have you have paid down at least $325,000, if I'm correct, you have a right to a passport, right? So we're talking to the government to make sure that every unit that gets sold also has an obligation to get a passport with that unit. So there's a guaranteed CBI income per unit that is sold, if that makes any sense. But the whole idea is that the CBI program will be involved and St. and Nevis both get CBI income from units being sold, yes. Obligated, yes.
Obligated is the word you use. That the government, once they bought a unit, they're obligated to get a passport. But think about the mathematics of this deception. And I always tell you that mathematics is my strongest weak point. The Prime Minister told us that 5,500 shares for the prison project in Nevis was a criminal offense. Yet they look now at 10,000 shares across the water and giving it a silent nod of approval, or want to give it a silent nod of approval. And we must stop it. Nevis, we all must stop it. This is raw nepotism and corruption engineered in the dark while they expect us to live blindly in the light. And finally, my Straight Talk family, I want to examine the political situation that is unraveling before our very eyes. And it has to do with what I have referred to as the alternative government. And that alternative government, based on my assessment of the current situation and the poor, horrible performance of the Terence Michael July administration over the last 4 years. And let's not forget that PAM has no leader right now. As a matter of fact, PAM has issued a release dated the 12th of August, dated yesterday. It's on your monitors. PAM's statement on the process of choosing the next political leader. The Council of the People's Action Movement, it reads, PAM, has set out the date to choose the sixth political leader following the resignation of the holder of the position on July 31, 2025. Nominations for the position are now open and will close on Tuesday, August 25, 2026, with the election taking place on Tuesday, September 1, 2026, at a special caucus. The position of political leader is open to all members of the party who are in good standing and who meet the established requirements. We encourage any member who wishes to offer themselves for service at this important level of leadership to take advantage of the opportunity and submit their nomination by the stipulated deadline. Full details regarding the nomination process, requirements, and deadlines are available from the party secretariat. The outcome of the process will be announced immediately following the determination of the results. So, as I said, the assessment was based on the fact that PAM has no leader right now. PAM is leaderless. And that leader may come just as about election is about to be announced. But I was however prompted to return to this matter by the real mature comments of Troy Spuddy Hendrickson a few days ago, and he said this.
Why the People's Labour Party? If I may be candid and very, very honest, when I was approached, the answer was a straight no. We spoke about it some more. He spoke about it some more. I discussed it with a couple of people around me, and they say, well, you want to help? I said, sure, I want to help. He said, well, put yourself in a leadership position and help. So I started studying a little bit of the history of the People's Labour Party, and Dr. Harris here could tell you that I asked him some hard questions. Some hard questions. And we found common ground, to be honest. All is not what it should be. It is no perfect situation. I would have my concerns, they would have their concerns with me, but we decided to work like a jigsaw puzzle where the pieces are all different, but if you keep putting them together, the pieces come to be the whole. And you know, if you make something usually of different pieces, it usually makes it to be so much stronger. And I think we are on the right path, the right direction to make our St. Kitts Nevis a stronger, better country.
And my Straight Dog family, I was really captured by Spuddy's jigsaw puzzle theory. But then I reflected on our international relationships that have been fractured by a reckless lack of diplomacy and to some extent integrity. Because I recall the comments that came from two opposing political platforms. One was this.
So when I see the foreign minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, Douglas, claiming his friendship to Cuba.
Our friendship with Cuba, it is strong. Cuba has trained hundreds of our people.
I mean, do you see the love that he has for a country where the people are oppressed for decades by a communist regime?
The other My Straight Dog family was this one.
Kind of madman that we have sitting down in the White House with what he was able to do to Venezuela, which was illegal, where you kidnap an entire head of a government and his wife on trumped up charges, and then you figure, well, okay, well, I'm going after Cuba next. You all have seen the news items. You're going after Cuba next, like Cuba is yours to have.
You see? So it's a brainwash, it's a propaganda against the United States.
And my Straight Talk family, I raise these two comments tonight. And this is by no means an attempt to further embarrass anyone or any political party. But please to listen to me carefully. And I speak specifically to the alternative to this failed Labour Party, which is the People's Labour Party. The Terence Michael July administration has failed us over the last 4 years and will continue to fail us until he rings that bell. So the alternative to Labour is the PLP. Now, PLP cannot afford to alienate global superpowers. I repeat that. The People's Labour Party cannot afford to alienate global superpowers. Therefore, we must firmly implore, we must beg the People's Labour Party, the only viable alternative left to rescue this nation. We must beg the leadership of PLP to immediately stand up and correct this course that the chairperson took. The PLP must completely withdraw its chairman's reckless and short-sighted comments regarding the U.S. President Donald Trump. PLP or no party can govern a modern state like St. Kitts and Nevis with immature, erratic, foreign rhetoric. The PLP must therefore show the maturity. It must show sophistication and stability required to lead a global investment federation like St. Kitts and Nevis in this turbulent geopolitical era. Furthermore, to the leadership of the People's Labour Party, the eyes of critics and divisions are upon you. You must explicitly commit your leadership to absolute transparency. You must guarantee to the shopkeeper in Basseterre and the farmer in Nevis that the backroom deals are over. No more selling out of our land. No more hiding behind compromised developers. If a new PLP government is to succeed, if our twin islands are to heal, and if we are to restore our dignity in the eyes of the world, we must pledge a clean break from the hypocrites of today. We must demand an administration that acts with honor when no one is watching. For St. Kitts and Nevis to rise, for our people to prosper, and for the true justice to prevail, honesty must be our true companion. And that's my story tonight, my Stray Dog family, and I am not going to change it. But I'll open the lines and entertain your calls and your emails. And when I do so, and I'll do so momentarily, I anticipate that you will respect others. And of course, to achieve that, you must first respect yourselves. Let's just try to be fair to all concerned, and let's ensure that the things we say will be beneficial to all concerned. And in the process of saying and or doing those things, let us strive to build a kinder, gentler St. Kitts and Nevis. With that said, at 9:21, I go to the lines and take this, my first call. Caller, you are live. Hello, caller.
Good night, Mr. Liebert.
Good night, my quotationist. I recognize that voice. Ready? Ready to march tomorrow?
Oh, yes, I think I'll be first, you know.
You'll be first? Okay.
Yes, I'll be first.
Okay.
We want to get the reader Mark Brantley, man. Time to go.
Oh, everybody concurs. Except him. Except him, yeah?
Yeah, he need to go. He don't have no manners. True. No respect.
Arrogant, yes.
The public want honesty.
Mm-hmm.
From their leaders.
Yep.
Not shady gimmicks.
Not shady gimmicks. Okay.
I repeat, the public wants honesty from their politicians, not shady gimmicks. Have a great evening.
Thank you very much. I always look forward, and sure many look forward for your quotation. And always interesting, thought-provoking as well. And this one no different. The public wants honesty from their leaders, did say politicians as well, not shady gimmicks. The public wants honesty from the leaders, not shady gimmicks. My Shadok family, the lines are open. We are entertaining your calls. We'll also take your emails as well. And as promised, I will give you back the time we lost. You know, I'm rather generous as usual. So fear not. And we're going to start all this. I commit that tonight will be the last night that we start late tonight. But let's go back to the lines and say good night to this caller. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Yes, I am here. Let me turn my apparatus down.
Please.
Good night, Brother Patches.
Good night, sir.
And good night to all of the listeners in the Western Hemisphere and wherever Kittish and Nivijans and supporters are Patches and the people. You said something almost to the last of your presentation, and let me be a part of that because that was part of my mantra and mandate. I promise the people, and I am promising the people of St. Kitts to restore our good health, trades, and our vision and focus with the America. I am not interested in China. I am not interested in Russia, North Korea, and others too numerous to mention. I declare and decree to stand with the United States of America and all of its supporters and allies. America is the way we go. Some may not choose to do such, but America controls the Western Hemisphere. And I support the Western Hemisphere and its clause and whatever. So that is part of my mandate. I swear to myself and I'm swearing it to the people. I don't know who else is available because most of our leaders are not in that stance to make that preservation. I think Winston welcome with dignity. My dignity is your dignity and your dignity is mine. I shall and I will like to be the man should the people elect me to be a leader in constituency 8 and the selection begins because this is going to be a coalition government. No one party will win 6 seats to form the government.
I tell you, when you start to go down the road, you must warn me so I can charge you. I want to say it's a paid political broadcast.
You could charge me, but your payoff will be bigger than you anticipate.
No. If your word is as good as your bond, I want your bond.
Well,
right? So put me in the position so I can say this is a paid political broadcast. Can you do that for me?
Yes, this is a paid political broadcast.
I don't want you to say it. I want you to action it. Anyway,
good things come to those that way. Be humble and peaceful and patient.
Okay.
We are not into any fake phony. We are into the reality and the due diligence that far too long that should have already been fetched. I will be able to restore it along with you, my brother Patches, without favor or fortune also. We are doing the right thing. We are traveling the right path. And the country will know of our legacy, including those who are in support of such. We cannot afford to risk the failures, the ills, the hurt, the destruction, and the kleptocratic behavior of our leaders. Patches, I know who fail us. I am only after leadership, not even supporters, because the supporters are followers. And sometimes we have to take the path of leadership and not a follower. I am a leader, and no one can fool me the way Kittians and Nevians and other people in other Caribbean islands by their government and continuously peddling that.
Okay.
Last but not least, Patches, I'm going to go with, I am very disturbed by someone who made a threat on your show to me. on the political grounds. That's how. And I need clarification.
I'm
I am
not,
calling upon the leader.
I'm not
I'm
aware of
calling upon the
just for clarity, I'm not aware of anybody making a threat on
Did
this
you remember
program.
two or three shows ago?
I am not aware of anybody threatening you, right? I won't
Someone
tolerate that.
claimed
I won't tolerate
I
that.
must
But
come off of Timothy.
yeah.
And they understand I am in the
You
political
raised that
arena.
before, right? And you know, I didn't comment, but I don't want you to perpetuate that because it's not accurate. Nobody threatened you on this program. I don't tolerate such things. Okay? But thanks a
I will
lot.
leave it alone because I'm
Please.
not afraid.
Thanks for your understanding. We go back to the lines. Caller, I thank you for holding your live.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
I am peaceful, sir. Yourself?
Myself, peaceful as well. I'm calling in regards to the march tomorrow. My name is Glendale Herbert, here on Nevis, Nevis Civil Society. It's a march against destiny, but it's also an opportunity for those who are out there who have a grievance against what's happening with their government on their people. And how they, it's an opportunity for them to demonstrate and send a message back to government, of course. But the central role of this march really is to speak about destiny and send a message to destiny. I think, like I said before, to one or two persons, we're at a fork in the road, and the old people say, there was an old saying that was said by Yogi Berra in the United States: when you meet a fork in the road, you take it, but we must take the right turn. And I do believe that in this juncture in history, when as parents or when our kids or whomever asks us 3 years from now where you were when this took place, destiny, we ought to be able to give a real answer and to be accountable for where we were. I think the right place to be right now is to send a message, the impact of destiny. Our parents stood up for us, whether through adult suffrage, whether through slavery, whether through whatever we went through. To get to this point, lands were not available to petitions. Same for Nevisians. By luck, Nevisians got a lot of lands at some point. The point is, though, land is wealth. And for all our past leaders, from Marcus Garvey, everybody tells us that land is ownership. Everything in the world in terms of currency, money, is based on lands. Whether you extract gold from it or you extract oil from it. It is very important to have ownership. My point to you is destiny. We know what the amount of land, the footprint that is, over 2,000 acres, as being said in the public record. That is the awful amount of land to just give up. The amount of people, the wealth, and then, on top of that, as in the public record again, they're not paying taxes. That is not just for them who initially come. That is for their children and their great-grandchildren for generations, while you pay taxes. It also means if they're not paying custom duty, that extends to them, the grandchildren, and the great-grandchildren, while you continue. It is not, we must know where we are. And I think it's a watershed moment to take a stand in this country. And where you are, you ought to be counted as to what your position is, as to the future, and as we look back. And as our children look at us in our eyes, our grandchildren, and ask a question. So, we march tomorrow at 4 p.m., civil society, up to a reliable gas station, U-turn, and back to the D.R. Walden Plaza for a rally. To send a significant message to the authorities.
Can I ask you a question, my brother?
Indeed, you can. Indeed.
You just outlined the route. Is that's the only route that's permitted, or that's the civil society's choice?
That's civil society's choice.
Oh, it's short to me, That's why I'm asking. And even the time from 4 to 6 is pretty short as well.
Yeah, because we have a rally after, so we wanted to cater some time before a rally, a brief rally.
But the rally ends at 6, isn't it?
No. It's when we return, we're around 5 o'clock. We should be back at the square by that point. But we should have an hour on the clock.
So the event is from 4 to 6. That's what I'm saying.
Correct.
Okay. We must. Can I ask you another question? Because lots of people are wondering, and you must have had gathered your intelligence in terms of the land sales. Are you at liberty to say that of the 2,600 acres that is required, that they got half of it, all of it, most of it, none of it?
I can't. I'm not at liberty to speak as to how much they have acquired.
You're not at liberty to say that?
I can't say that.
Any reason why?
Well, I'm duty bound. I'm on the oversight as a member.
Oh, you
so
are
I can't get into
you are
that,
on the committee?
Yes, correct.
Okay. All right. Okay. I respect that then.
But I can't speak to what's happening inside the committee, or can I speak to the particulars? I'm duty bound not to do that.
So
but I can speak to what's in the public space and discuss what's in the public space.
So you can't separate Glendale Herbert from wherever you live in Nevis to Glendale Herbert on the committee? That's what you're saying?
You can't.
You cannot, you said?
I cannot.
Okay. Respectful. I respect that, my brother, but thanks for the information nonetheless.
Yes, but I can speak on my personal, advocate to what's in the public space and what's on the record.
Okay.
What the authorities has discussed, I can discuss.
Okay. You have actually signed something, no? You have signed. Okay.
Yes.
You're bound by some oath.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'm bound by an oath, and
well,
that's I can't.
I'm not suggesting anything to you, right? But I remember some years ago, I think it was the Daily Telegraph in London, printed a cabinet a minute, a minute from, I don't remember if it was Tony Blair's cabinet, but someone of those prime minister's cabinet. So you sign those things, so all things are possible. I'm not suggesting anything to you, but these has happened in the world. Nothing is full watertight.
Well, unless we can get some protection, you can secure some landmark case or something.
Okay.
That would protect me.
Okay.
Or any of the members from speaking out loud as to what's inside there. I mean, it's you can understand the dance that we have to do.
For full disclosure, I'm just being devil's advocate. Don't worry. Don't take this serious. But thanks a lot for the information. And you want to give the time again?
4 p.m. to 6 p.m. tomorrow.
And then the route?
And everybody, yes. And the route is Main Street, Charleston, from Alexander Hamilton Museum to the Reliable gas station, turn around, and then head back to the Walwyn Square, where there's a rally set up.
I wish you the best, my brother. Thanks a lot for calling.
And it's like I said, this is very important to be engaged. It's very important to understand the ramification and the implication of what's happening here. It is, I am not one who, I don't disrespect political actors, but I don't trust political actors for the most part.
Okay.
And, you never get the full story, from political actors, because they always have something to protect. So, that being the case, we have to be vigilant. And like I said, it's on the books. It's it's being considered. The Destiny folks are not going anywhere as far as I'm seeing. So
okay. Thanks.
That sort of bother. You have to be conscious of and be very careful and be on top of it. Send a message constantly to your leaders. Send a message constantly to the authorities who are in charge of this matter.
Thank you very much, my brother. Thanks a lot for your input.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Wish you a well-attended match tomorrow. Let us go back to the lines and thank this caller for holding. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Good evening. This is Livingstone Williams, a Stoneman. The information you need about the land sales, they have approximately 847 acres of the land, which works out to be about 30%. That's all they have.
870 acres?
Yeah, 847 acres, roughly.
Okay. And you're not on any committee, right?
I'm not on no committee.
Okay.
But I've seen The documents.
Okay.
I've seen the document. I double check them and I triple check them.
Okay. Well, all right.
Okay, sir.
Thanks a lot
Have a good night.
Thanks a lot for your information, and that's what Straight Talk is all about. Yes, you've seen the documents, and he has double checked them. Caller, thank you for holding your live. Hello, caller. Hello, caller. Okay, we seem to have missed the caller. Caller, you are live.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Liebert.
It is in
Hello?
fact. It is in fact night. Is it afternoon by your side?
Sorry?
Is it afternoon on your side?
Oh, his sun is still up a little bit.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just calling to find out. Do St. Kitts Nevis have a freedom of information where people can go in and get information when they need it?
They have passed freedom of information legislation, but it's like going to a dentist, or maybe worse than that, to get information from the government. They went and passed a suite of legislation, including the freedom of information, but they're not transparent. If that answers your question.
That's a sad comment. Well, I wouldn't say a sad commentary, but that young man who you're speaking to, if I was to be in a committee and I'm aware of what they're doing, going to hurt my people, I will resign from that committee. Wouldn't you?
I concur too. If I can't speak, I would perhaps get out, But then,
because sometimes we become
But then if you would have been on the committee and would have signed the oath, I most likely signed, I'm speculating here, you would have signed an oath of secrecy. So I don't know if he resigns, he can still speak.
But why secrecy? When you're talking about that
freedom,
number one, freedom.
Yeah.
You're talking about these people might have their own police. They might have their own, from what someone was saying some weeks ago, that a shipment might come in. You do not know if it's grocery. You do not know if it's drugs. You do not know if it's guns. Nobody can break the seal. This is like a nation into a nation.
Yep.
But God have mercy upon us. That's all I'm going to say. Because to me, it seems that the people is scared. Some people is afraid, and some people is willing to sell willing to sell the firstborn. And it is sad. Yeah. It is sad commentary. Okay, all four parents. Some of them give their life. Some of them shed their blood for these lands. And you tell me the same, and I'm not against white people. I'm not against them. But these men going to come in and take those land, and 50 years from now, they might even take more. Because they're going to be the one with the gun and all the power. Good night, and I'm going to sit back and listen.
Thank you very much for your contribution. Let's go back to the lines. Did I have a caller? Yes, I do have a caller. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Good evening, Mr. Liebert.
Yes, good evening, my dear.
Kalikon Ann.
Yeah, what happens to your phone? Have anybody checked it out? Because I don't want to come
my
across
daughter. My daughter said she's going to check it out for me, and I'm to know she ain't check it out yet.
Okay, you just seem to drop. I don't want it to come across that I'm disconnecting your calls because you just seem to drop.
I know you're not going to do that.
Yes.
I know you're not going to do that at all.
Okay, so try. Sorry, good.
What I want to say, Mr. Liebert, we are going to free at last.
You're going to be free at last?
Yes.
When we see the back of Terrence Michael Drew and his cabinet.
Yes. Yes. I hope it's very soon that we're going to free at last. I'm talking to Sinkit and Nevis tonight. That when that day come and that time come for the Lord to bring that time, I hope and pray that everyone have a head on to go to the polling station to get these people of Mark Bradley and also Dr. Joe and Hikabalden. They need to go. They have thinkers and need with people like a laughing stock. What am I say? They're enjoying the fruits of the country. And the poor man who put them there can't see no further on the face. It's time for them to go. Everybody gets fed up with them. Everybody gets sick of them. You walking on the street, you don't accept no if COVID is here still. Because you ain't see nobody. The supermarket open, show back to the public. Nobody are coming. No money there. People don't got no money for the bills. They cut off cold and water, left, right, and center. Where the hell in God creation wall? The man gone in inside there who do what? Bring the place to what? Eh? A corrupt place? Eh? When he gone in the pan, you know what you do, he cannot run the country. No, he cabal them. They cannot run the country. He and the cabal them must be up. And poor people put them, they must be down. Poor people in this country just working for food. They can't pay the bills. The parents them got the children, them a lot of them going to school with the all uniform them. Because the money they're going to school for the children them. What the hell is man doing with people tax money? Eh? No money in the country, no Mr. Liban, no money at all in the country. That's why the economy like this. Everything black. Because they don't walk up all the money. And Mr. Harris left inside there. When he went in he said, the country red. When you look at Kumakon and he say, oh, money inside the treasury. Here the people, them don't know what they do. They need to go, pack up and go. If I had power, you know, I'll give them out to government headquarters. Because they're doing a lot of nonsense. They don't know what they're doing. A lot of young men out there on the street. Well, want to walk. The young people can't get no work. The young people don't know the kind of work they don't do. Not happen. Not start. The hospital of the well one fix up. The door of the well one fix up. Eh? You want paint over. When you talk about you going to build medical center. Eh? Smart hospital and all them kind of thing that you talk about he going to build. Eh? Taking people tax money and doing a load of damn nonsense with it. Eh? Here they cabal them. Parents are born, he don't hear the quiet people. He ain't hear the quiet poor people in this country. Think it's gone.
Okay.
We need a fair leader in this country. And the fair leader is Mr. Harris. Harris again. You have a wonderful night, Mr. Liban, and you get home safe. I love you. And may God continue to bless you, strengthen you, give you good health and good strength. That this business of you one could open for everybody to call and have their view. You have a wonderful night.
Have a wonderful night as well, my dear. Like one's aunt, I love you too. Caller, thank you for holding. Hello, caller.
Yeah, Patches, good evening, man. How you doing tonight,
I am
man?
peaceful, my brother. Yourself?
Yeah, pretty good. There's been a whistleblower in the Dominican CBI program there. There's been a whistleblower, I see a reporting fraud and corruption in the Dominican CBI program. Thus, the EU is on full alert of what's going on in the Caribbean, and they're not going to stop until they collapse all of these CBI programs in the Caribbean region. When that happens, we're going to find ourselves in a rut if we don't scramble right now to diversify our economy. If that Destiny project doesn't come to fruition and the EU collapse our CBI program, well, the CBI program is never going back to where it was. And they have ways of damaging it and, canceling it out and destroying it. If those two events happen, Sinkis and Nevis will be in a dire financial position, worse than where we are right now. But these two leaders we have on both islands,
They are not good for the country. There's no opposition across the Narrows. The Public Account Committee is not set up in the Federal House. We had some chatter this week from Brantley himself. He was on an interview at Win FM earlier this week. He acknowledged he's the one responsible for setting that up and make sure it's operational, but he still says he cannot do it on his own, or there has to be an appetite for it. So the systems are not working. The checks and balances are not working.
How mean appetite?
I think they set up a...
How mean appetite? That's what he said?
Something to that effect. Something to that effect. You know, this is something that got to be in place. It's like this. It's the law. Ain't that like a law, Patches? Ain't these checks and balances supposed to be in place? I mean, how are we going to check the incumbent government, the Jew administration? How are we going to check these guys' reckless spending? And how are we going to get an accountability? I mean, is this a good example for the new crop of politicians that's going to come in as we're facing the next federal election? This is not a good look. That's why nothing happens in St. Nevis. Nothing changes. What kind of example is being set for the new administration to come, the new parliamentarians? Patches, this stuff that's happening in SKN, you know, it's only God can put his hands on this situation, it seems like to me. Right now, I am done talking about all this stuff, bro. There's only two things I'm waiting on right now is to see if Jew going to sign that Destiny project and to see what the result is going to be for the next upcoming election. This election coming up is very important. The young people who has now become eligible to vote got to go and get registered. You can't win it if you're not in it. So they got to go get registered and participate in the next election coming up. I'm appealing to them to do that for their own future. As far as Destiny goes, real quickly, you know, we're either going to protest or we're going to boycott. Two ways of, you know, showing your disgust of the situation, the disgust and the disappointment in the governments. And the landowners over there on the south side of Nevis who said that they didn't know what the buyers wanted the lands for, now that they know, if they don't want the Destiny project, they just got to hold on their lands. It's nothing else to it. Ain't nobody can make you sell your lands. But if you think, for those who think they're going to sell those lands and get the fluid cash, they're going to spend up that cash like a drunken sailor man. And when that money is gone, then you're going to be staring down at some white people owning your land that you had before. And Patches, man, yeah, we don't oppose to development, but this one here is not something I'm approved of. The massive land grab, I don't like that.
Okay.
Because once we lose those lands, that's it for us. It ain't no turning back. So the people got to stand up, go out to that march tomorrow, and let your voices be heard. And lastly, I guess the guy that was talking about the march tomorrow, right? And somebody else came in and made some comments after. What I really wanted to ask or say, he's a part of the ad hoc committee. Is that correct?
He's a what?
He's a part of the ad hoc committee the Prime Minister organized, right?
Which one? There are two people you referred to just now. One is
the one who's a part of the march tomorrow. The guy who's a part of the march tomorrow.
Yes, he said so. He said he's a part of the committee.
Okay, so I guess somebody came in after him, and what I really wanted to ask, like, if he's saying that he has a gag order, right?
No. Don't get mixed up here. The gentleman who called in after is not a part of the committee. That's Stoneman Williams.
I got that.
Okay,
I
so
understand that. I'm talking solely about the guy before him, who's a part of the march tomorrow. You get me now, right? We're on the same page, right?
Make it fast. It's been on a long time. Let's make it quickly, please.
Okay, so I'm just asking if he can't talk about the stuff in what's going on internally. How come he can be a part of a march and a rally where he's expressing, like, you know, if you get what I'm saying? At the march and a rally, is there any connection there?
No, there's none. If you sign a sort of, if you sign out of secrecy, tell him he can't talk, they say he can't walk.
but that's a part of expression and
No, I
that's a
don't see.
part
But
of.
anyway, well, we'll leave for other one. Okay. But thanks a lot
Okay,
for
yeah,
your
we'll leave it there. Yeah, thanks. We'll leave it there. Thank you.
yeah, thanks a lot for your contribution. Mr. McMahon, you are so right with your question that you posed to Win FM in the person of Troy Biff Mills and Hortensia in respect of Premier Mark Brantley and his wife's involvement with the Destiny Project as conflict of interest. You see, McMahon, both hosts on the Win FM morning show knows better, but they are cowards and do not want to say anything offensive about Brantley. Therefore, they prefer to make some stupid excuse concerning the conflict of interest that surrounds Mark and his wife, and for Biff to draw the analogy between his wife, Mrs. Diane Mills, when she was a superintendent of police, that she never told him any police business, and he never asked her either. That was most stupid and nonsensical comparison he made. Why are you calling wrong right, Biff? Just to be in a good and friendly companionship with Mark? Nonsense. If your hosts on these radio programs cannot give the callers correct answers, just shut up and let them speak. For obviously, in most cases, you all do not know what you are saying. If the situation with Mark and his wife had occurred in any other part of the world, surely they would have been cited and charged with conflict of interest. That is undisputable. Mr. Lywood, I have been looking at the current relationship with Pam, CCM, and Brantley, particularly with all the egregious things Mark has done to Sean and Pam. They still want to have a friendly political arrangement with him. Sean, let me remind you of some of the things why you should stay far from Mark. He took the leader of the opposition when you were the rightful person for it, apart from Timothy. He took the nominated senator, now Deputy Speaker of the House of Assembly. He said to you, Sean, and Pam has been registered to the scrap heap. When you spoke in Parliament on a bill, he rebuked you and joined the government to castigate you. Sean, you introduced the overseas voters in the House, and Mark said to the overseas voters that you introduced the bill because you want to deprive them of their constitutional rights to vote. And he knows that was not true. But his intention was to make you look bad. Sean, if Mark should ever win the 3 seats in Nevis, and leader will be a sufficient amount to form a government, don't think anyone in Pam party will become the prime minister, you know. Mark will be the first division prime minister, and that is what he's aiming for. So when I see Pam and CCM executives at the Christina Memorial Service in Nevis standing side by side, I said, well, you mean Pam haven't learned their lesson? Yet anyhow, there is no way that Mark will win another election in Nevis. He's done for good. Read this email. Patches, that is why I always say that these so-called reporters and journalists are a bunch of palace guards. Couldn't remember that word. Yes, palace guards. Just look at how July does have them at his so-called round table and press conference, afraid to ask sensible questions. A bunch of jokers. I am so disappointed in Andre Huey, the way he let July use him to peddle his political propaganda. The whole media association need to resign. They are spineless, like jellyfish. I long for the day when we have reporters like Bert David, Tony Frederick, and Ken Richards. These reporters were not afraid to ask any question of any politician, and they also did investigative journalism. Caller, I thank you for holding your live. Hello, caller?
Pardon?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Good night.
yes, Mr. Bibleman. Good night. What's on your mind tonight?
Pardon? Yes. I am going to read my favorite title of scripture.
Psalm 41.
Psalm 41.
Your road march, yes.
Blessed
is the man
who
considers the poor.
I can read it again. Blessed is the man that considereth the poor.
Yes.
The Lord will deliver him
in time.
In the time of trouble.
Yes.
Mr. Patel, look, when I read this passage of scripture, I thought this passage of scripture, people get offended. But I'm sorry enough, it is the word of God. That is when you consider, what is the meaning of consider, Mr. Patel? What is the meaning of it? So when you said, the second not dealing with the word good. When I say, I can tell you something. The natural man can't discern the things that are spiritual because they are foolish discern. But if I give my life to the Lord, and every time I go down in the word I'm inspired by the word of the Lord. But that is the type of scripture, it is fitting for the hour. And some people don't like to hear it because they're behind crucifying the poor people. And the Lord knows it. The Lord knows the intention. But one day, the poor people is going to get delivered. But if I have no time to waste with people, come on your show and talk. I am not telling you that.
Okay, my brother.
Because I am not telling you that, Mr. Patrick.
Okay, thanks a lot.
So I am going to finish right here.
Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you.
I have not telling that. See you. Bye.
Thank you for your, what I call your spiritual interventions, Mr. Bibleman. Dear Patches, good night. I have to write this email tonight because I do not think people understand the position which with the Labour government, a damn serious position. Just a warning, an eye-opener for the civil servants. It has been said that civil servants, many may not get their pay in a few months because last year civil servants' salaries were paid by a private company. This company was asked to give a helping hand to meet salaries. This is scary and frightening. Mark is smart and we have to give him credit for his serious wanting to sell out Nevis because SSZ has agreed to pay the Nevis civil servants' salaries for months. Winston, have you changed your mind about locking up the Honorable Timothy Harris? I heard you said that you need an apology from him because I said the truth that if you continue thinking about coming to St. Kitts to run election that you get one vote, why should I apologize for telling you the truth? No way, not me apology, that is dead. I would tell you something. The very next day after the PLP convention, the Honorable Harris received well over 2,500 telephone calls to congratulate him and confirm voting for PLP. And the majority came from members of Labour and PAM parties. They have skipped ship. Winston, please erase the thought about being a candidate for election. What would be your symbol? The mouth? Thank Patches. Good job you are doing. Reads this email. This other email reads, on election day, they see money, 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 and more money. Majority of those seeking elected office come in with just the shirt on their backs. Check their wealth and property after one term. All those seeking office should declare their assets publicly prior to nomination and yearly thereafter, reads this email. How can Mr. Welcome continue to say he wants an opportunity to lead the Federation when he still can't identify the Federation correctly? Why is it that he keeps saying the Federation of St. Kitts? Is it not the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis? Like you always say, I stand to be corrected. Have a good night, Mr. Liebert. Reads this email. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, thank you for holding your live. Hello, caller.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Liebert.
Yes, good evening.
A gentleman a while ago called to advertise a march, a protest march. And after he would have said what he said, you attempt to ask him, or you ask him some question, maybe to elaborate on something, and he said he can't. What it's kind of strange to me that you could march against it, but you can't talk about it. Kind of mixed up to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one who's seen it as being mixed up. Because if you could march against it, it's just as like talking about it. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Well, everyone is entitled his or her opinion, but I really don't see a problem with that. He just forbidden to talk, but is okay to walk. That's how I put it earlier, and I'll perhaps repeat that. Let's get this other email. Patches, remember that Mark the Snake Brantley also said that what the people are saying about him and the SSZ don't matter to him. The only thing that matters is when he goes home in his house. The Snake, Mark Brantley, also said that after election day, your right to tell him what to do ended. It is his time to govern. That's why the Snake, Mark Brantley, acting like a king. These two vagabonds, the Snake, Mark Brantley, and July, don't want to listen to anyone. Reads this email. This other email reads, Patches, I know that some people speak for the sake of speaking. But Patches, I would like to say it, and I would say it again. Patches, I do not know Winston. Not welcome. Patches, some people are taking this election as a joke. This is a serious election coming up, and I can assure you Winston will get one vote. Please, Patches, if you know me, you know I am a real peaceful person, and I have never in my life threatened anyone. Winston should Google the word threaten, and he will get the meeting. Winston, I did not threaten you. I just stated the fact. Okay, I have given you free advice, rights an honest citizen. Good night. How many stories of Bratcher we really want in a 68 square mile island? One is already in St. Paul's, one at the Heroes Park. Now one is going to be at the symbol of love taken from us by Indians. The only reason why they accept those is because they probably get the site for next to nothing. Poor Jew, poor St. Kitts reads this email. And those, yes, I got my emails under control. Yes, I'll take a few more calls, my Straight Talk family. But just to inform those who may have joined me late, that my thesis tonight I titled Honesty Must Be Our Best, Our True Companion. But let's get back to that. I go to the lines. Caller, you live. Hello, caller.
Yes, good evening. Good evening again. This is the last time for me this evening. St. Kitts and Nevis is one federation. Am I correct?
Yes.
So that land that the Prime Minister technically want to give away also belong to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. Am I correct?
No, it belongs to Nevis.
But there's one federation?
Yeah, but we have a very unique constitution, right? As a matter of fact, I say this respectfully. If you, our constitution is one of political expediency. Simmons finalized the negotiations. Remember, when was that? The 1980s. Labour walked out. Simmons wanted to be the first Prime Minister. And Sim Daniel asked for his own government. He asked for a share of the revenue and for his secession clause, and he got that. So the Constitution stipulates the subjects that are on the responsibility of Nevis, which includes land. And the only thing the federal government has to do with Nevis is they are in control of external affairs and national security.
What about defense?
Yeah, well, national security falls under that.
Because I'm saying if these people are going to be a nation by themselves, I saw the plan where they have these massive walls and everything like that. Like these guys might even have more power than the Nevis government.
True. That's so true.
So I don't understand why the people of St. Kitts seem as though not more concerned of what's going on in Nevis. And for years now, I don't know if you'll agree with me, it seems as though that our people get to a point that all they need is to get some music. They put on the short pants and they dance behind the music and don't care about the consequence.
You don't dance, you walk up here.
You know, my grandfather was one of those men at Buckley's estate. He couldn't read. He had was to write the X when he get his check. When he was at Buckley's estate, some of those men only had a stick and a machete. That's all they had. And most of them, I don't know if you agree, were uneducated men. But they know what was right and they know what was wrong.
Yep.
God bless you, my brother.
God bless you as well. Thanks for your interventions. We go back to the lines. Caller, thank you for holding you alive.
God bless you. Good evening to you.
Good evening, my dear. Dimple lady. You're late tonight. What's happening?
No, I'm not late tonight. Think I know what trying to call in. Think I know. And I cannot get in.
I thought you
I trying a long time.
I'm happy you got it because we almost wrapped. Okay.
Oh my God. Yes, but let me ask you one simple question. Around Fort Thomas Hotel, it's we own or the people them over there own? Because every time I hear King Lawyer is talking, I say that is one of the building, that is one of the thing that we got in the people like his school and the all certain kind of thing, and he call out Fort Thomas Hotel. So I want to know if it's we one or the people them one.
Well, the little information that we have is that the land, but it is a lease to own. I don't know if that refers to the land and the buildings, because there's nothing in the budget, a matter of fact, as it relates to that particular project. So, and Joe just talks because he has a mouth sometimes, and whenever he talks, you never believe him.
No, he's a lawyer. Yeah, he's a lawyer, so I don't really take him on.
I think it was a 2026 budget. Yes, I think is that. It refers to something in the pipeline. I try to remember exactly what. I actually mentioned it tonight. And one time you hear it's a lease to own.
It's a lease for the next time.
Lease to own. We don't know how long they'll hold it for, and we don't know what is the cost. And these are the issues we don't know, and that's why I was calling out the palace guard Andre Huey, because as a reporter, you must find out what is the scope of the project, what the cost of the project, how the project is being funded, and the timelines and so on. But As the 26th budget, I think, referred to it as a private investment, right? But the government's official announcement described it as a lease arrangement with this company ABL, owned by CS Global, I think, and they're doing this pipeline, Skyline in Dominica as well. CS Global people, but you're so correct. It is the information is not clear, to put it.
It's not clear,
yes,
because
I
hear he talking one to one corner him out, and the other corner is something else coming. The reason why I ask so, because if he don't sell out the people them land, why are he going to ask them to leave a thing there for Bratcha? He don't went in a Bratcha yard, put up a museum in the people in the yard, and cannot finish it. To use so much money and what now? So why are he now going to ask the people them to put up something wrong here for Bratcha? What's really wrong with that psychopath here? Huh? He don't know what he's saying. He don't know what he's doing. All of them, from the top one come right down his square peg in a round hole, they ain't know what they're doing. And you see which part? You see which part here, he Muslim church? Yeah. You see part here church?
By the airport.
Right up there, but right up there by the airport and by a gas station. So I tell you, we in for a big surprise that this country here, with that psychopath we had here in this country here. Don't know what he's doing. A Muslim church where he put it there for. You can't find anywhere else to put it? What there?
Yes, my dear.
Wow. What is the next thing I want to know? Do you know anything that when you swallow bone, when you swallow bone, you are comfortable, you can get the bone go down, you have to get something to take it down, and the water cannot take it down. You're going to have to get a hard piece of bread or something. Hard piece of bread. Well, let me tell you something. We need a lot of hard bread in this country here for people to swallow, because Timothy Harris sick in the stomach and they cannot get to eat their food properly because Harris in the stomach, and they need something hard to get it moved, especially Gaga. Especially he, because that is what is a problem for he. Yeah. He always thinking that he needs something to move that. And not even he alone, no. He got a few of them here in St. Kitts. They owe you Team Unity. They take Team Unity money to work for Team Unity, and up to now, not a thing done. Up to now, no work done. And then, if everything is Harris, I need something to be them that they could get the bone out of the throat, that Harris could go down instead of stay strictly in the stomach. And that one they will say he back sick. I would like him please to give me and my father money while we don't work for in the sugar cane, because he not work in the sugar cane and he get more than who work in the sugar cane. I would like him please to give me mine. He did not give me none. He ain't give me father none. I get a little change from Harris, because Harris get a little change also. But he get the bulk and he ain't get none out of it. And he not work in the sugar cane and he got all. Please to let he send me and my father money give us. I want to work for, not what I work for. Give me money. But you have a pleasant night. You hear me?
Have a pleasant night as well. Rest well, my dear.
Yes, sir. You take care.
Thanks a lot for your intervention. And let's not forget as well that our quotation for tonight, I almost forgot our quotation for tonight. The public wants honesty from the leaders, not shady gimmicks. So as we wind down tonight's programming, we looked at our thesis for tonight, which I titled, Honesty Must Be Our True Companion. And I came tonight to tear down what I call the wall of lies, deception, corruption that is suffocating our beautiful Twin Island Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. Because for too long, we have been fed a steady diet of smooth-talking treason, empty political theater, and backroom betrayals by an administration that for the last 4 years have treated our national treasury like their piggy bank. Now it's empty. We are bordering just outside the doors of the International Monetary Fund. But I've come to tell you that tonight, the games ought to end. We must draw a line in the sand with an unyielding, non-negotiable vow that honesty must be our true companion. I know that when I walk out here, the corrupt elites sitting in the halls of power, they're going to panic. They will attack me for being honest. They will unleash the full weight of their dishonest machinery against me. But no weapon formed against me, the good book says, shall prosper. The Lord is my light and my salvation. The good book says, whom shall I fear? I fear no man because God is the judge, the absolute judge, who puts down one and sets another up. And like someone mentioned earlier, be humble. Yes. He that exalteth shall be abased. The good book also says, and the humble shall be exalted. So, they will launch desperate smear campaigns. They will deploy their paid internet trolls, I call them. And they will weaponize their media hitmen to attack our character. Why? Because a leader armed with the unvarnished truth is the single greatest threat to their lucrative, lawless empire. We looked at the sheer wreckage of this current administration and what it has inflicted upon our global reputation. And now before our eyes, they're attempting to ram through the pending utterly disastrous approval of the Destiny Project in Nevis under the deceptive cover of the Special Sustainability Zones Act. One Mr. Williams Libby, Stoneman, I heard that name so often, says they have already purchased some 847 acres, just 1/3 of the land. But this administration is actively trying to carve out a semi-autonomous enclave on Nevis. Nevis' southern coast, to be exact. Signing away our land and our regulatory laws to foreign interests. So I'm happy that the Nevis civil society are marching tomorrow. Then there's a stench of absolute conflict of interest. But the betrayal becomes even more sickening when you look at who is pocketing the cash that would come from this project. My fellow citizens, what we saw was a textbook definition of politically exposed persons abusing the public trust for private wealth, my Straight Talk family. And as I conclude tonight, my Straight Talk family, I must raise the matter as it relates to our relationship with our primary democratic ally in the Western Hemisphere, to wit, the United States. And I brought you the truth about the American pipeline, I call it. And according to local customs figures, over 80% of our trade from the U.S. exceeded $754 million. Our travelers, our cruise passengers, the majority come from the U.S. Total quarterly visitor expenditure climbed to over $62 million, U.S. that is, in 2026, with arrivals from the United States accounting for the vast majority of that revenue. So look around you. Look at the state of our beautiful Twin Island Federation. We stand at a critical crossroads where our most valuable national asset, our reputation, our sovereignty, and our CBI is being systematically dismantled by greed. And then the threat from the EU is looming. We cannot survive when our leaders practice nepotism in the dark and preach virtue in the light. If we are to rescue our country from the brink of total collapse, honesty must be our true champion. And I must leave you, my Straight Talk family, with what I call diplomatic advice. I must suggest that the PLP as our alternative must demonstrate maturity, sophistication, and stability required to lead a global investment federation in this turbulent geopolitical area. The eyes of petition and divisions are upon you. You must explicitly commit your leadership to absolute transparency. You must guarantee to the shopkeeper in Basti, as I said earlier, and the farmer in Nevis, that the backroom deals are over. No more selling out of our land. No more hiding behind compromised developers. If a new PLP government is to succeed, if our Twin Islands are to heal, if we are to restore our dignity in the eyes of the world, we must pledge a clean break from the hypocrisy of today. We must demand an administration that acts with honor when no one is watching. For St. Kitts Nevis to rise, for people to prosper, and for true justice to prevail, honesty must be our true companion. And that's my story tonight, my Straight Talk family, and I am not going to change it. I must therefore thank Almighty God for guiding our conversation tonight as always. I want to thank you, the many viewers, those who call, those who send emails. Remember, you are the ones who make Straight Talk, and for that reason, I say a big, big thank you. And I leave you with the quotation: the public wants honesty from their leaders or politicians, not shady gimmicks. Don't forget the march tomorrow in Nevis, starting at 4 p.m. in the afternoon. And my Straight Talk family, remember, whatever your mind conceive, that you will achieve. But first of all, you just got to believe. So when you wake in the morning, thank God for the morning light and thank Him for taking you through the night. And my Straight Talk family, keep moving on. Bye-bye. Until we connect on Monday. Have yourselves a wonderful weekend. I'm going to church. What are you going to do? Do your chores as well. Some go to the beach. But whatever you do it modestly. Thank you all, and have yourselves a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye. Keep moving on.
The morning, I thank God for the morning light. Give him thanks and praises for taking me safely through the night. For the rest of food and loving care, and for my mother's breath of life that's got me here. So whatever my mind conceives that I will achieve, you better believe, because I do the things I should, be to my brethren kind and good, the best I could. So I'll keep moving on, I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on till I reach the top somehow. Down on my knees the Lord I kneel and pray, with my heart and soul, beg him to take me through each day, my guardian to keep and my guide, over every step I take, he will preside. So whatever my mind conceives that I will achieve, you better believe, because I do the things I should, be to my brethren kind and good, the best I could. So I'll keep moving on, I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on till I reach the top somehow. My way with strength and courage from above. No man I'll fear, since God protects me with his love. Strong, pure and true, and so sincere, 'cause my knees I'll always stay to the Lord in prayer. So whatever my mind conceives that I will achieve, you better believe, because I do the things I should, be to my brethren kind